Joe, you are the greatest. You have more 2v2 games last season than I have 1v1 games in like 3 seasons combined.
Hey, if you need some knee pads,
So, spawning in the top left, we have our Darth Vader Australian Protoss, Tzilla, and spawning in the bottom right, his student who is trying to usurp his master here, the pink Protoss Uriel slash Brendan.
we'll see in Outright Game 3 if the circle will indeed be complete.
Yes.
Will Uriel, who was once the learner, become the master?
We'll find out.
One of them's gonna win with Voidwings.
It stands to reason. If I were a betting man, I would say this game was going to come down to one man's offense versus the other man's defense.
Let's not get carried away.
But that's just me.
So we see a 9 assimilator from Brendan, followed by a second pylon, because he really needs to get that gas early for that Stargate.
Yes. Joe, you're just all about the void rays. I was like watching as you were your cast between me and Tyler, and I felt so bad because our play was so disorganized. You kept trying to make these predictions, and it was just like, no, he's just doing it wrong.
I tried not to say that anyone was like wrong.
But
I tried
no,
to make suggestions.
Right. So I'm glad in this game you're sticking to your guns. You're just like void rays. It's going to be void rays.
Well, I mean, it's 1-1, right? And they really want to win. And how do they pull out the win when they really need it? Void rays.
Yep.
And I mean, we saw he's getting like gas first and like a forge and stuff. Key being Brendan.
Yeah.
So he just needs to not die until he gets up his skill raise.
So this is an incredible skill thing. If you look where Brendan's cybernetic score is placed, it's not blocking his gas. In the past, he's placed buildings blocking his gas. So this is really a step up for him. He's really showing a lot of improvement. Meanwhile, Tzilla once again rushing that Twilight Council. I wonder if he's trying to go fast DTs and
Yeah, this is another. I must honestly say I'm befuddled.
yeah.
It's gonna be charge.
Charge. Well, he does so. TZ.
So I'm wondering,
Yeah.
is he gonna be going? Is he gonna be going sky toss and mineral dumping into charge lots?
I just think his second favorite unit is a Zealot.
Yes, I
Next
think
to Thunders.
he really likes zealots. He is known to shout zealots are ridiculous while playing. Both players taking expansions, so this won't be one base versus two base or one base versus one base or anything. That's
Actually,
nice.
I think TZ misplaces Nexus, and it's funny because we were just talking about that.
That's
It might
100%
be 'cause-
possible.
I don't think that's. I think that's the one I thought.
It's 100% possible.
The Belgrade?
I think he missed it. We'll be able to tell once the probes are in.
Yeah, and Stargate indeed going down is finished for Uriel, and while he, oh no, come on, don't be like that. His forge is queued up upgrades.
Yo, it's so he doesn't forget.
Yeah, and I mean shield upgrades are important for your warriors.
Right, because the longer your void rays last, the more damage they do.
That's I can't argue that logic.
I think it's interesting to note that Brendan's, if he were to just take one void ray and go, well, no, he only has one gateway. If he would macro and build some gateways a little more, he could just build that one void ray and go. TZ's warping in a lot of zealots, and I don't know if our viewers at home know this. Zealots not very good against void rays. Blizzard has yet to implement my jump ability.
I think it would be more like a boomerang. They throw the side blades just at the void rays.
Interesting. I like the idea of the zealots climbing on top of the air units.
Well,
And
you get a warp prism to fly above the void ray, and then you just warp
ooh.
on top of it,
ooh,
and
like
just stab the pilot or something.
aerial zealot bombs.
Exactly.
I like
Zealot
it.
bombs.
I like
Did
it.
you guys see that thing where that guy made a mod where you could put Banelings into sport problems?
Yes.
That was so cool.
Yes. Okay, both players getting +1, so both of them want to tussle on the ground, even though Brendan is really powering out his void rays.
Yeah, yep, you're there. He's adding on two more.
It's like
Two more gateways.
It's like you don't have to be a numbers guy, but one player has two voiders, or almost two voiders. The other one has 0.
Yeah, that as we saw in game 1,
Yeah.
that puts Brendan distinctly in the lead.
We're gonna have-
Interesting. TZ has a ton more probes.
Yeah.
It's 35 to
Yeah.
26.
And TZ is adding on a lot more gateways, and he's going for Robo and not Stargate.
But
So-
we have to take his probe lead a little bit less, just because his Nexus is misplaced. So he's actually getting a little bit less money despite having more probes.
Is his Nexus actually misplaced?
Yeah, look at the geyser.
Yeah, yeah, that is. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that does look like a really long distance, actually.
Yeah, because
Huh.
normally you can see them like if you look at the geyser in the main, you only see 2 probes at a time.
Yeah,
And if you look at the one at the third, you see 3, or at
Wow.
the natural, you see 3.
that's really interesting. So yeah, TZ misplaces his Nexus. There's got to be Blizzards has to have a colorblind fix for that or something.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Well, Dark Shrine going down in Tzilla's base.
yep,
Nice.
Yeah,
we couldn't
that's-
possibly be seeing some shifty DT play here, could we?
we definitely could. TZ watches a lot of StarCraft. He watches me play a lot. He's watched a lot of WCS with me. So
Yeah.
and I usually tune into players like Huck, Hero,
Right.
Protoss players generally. So
Yo, but Brendan knows what's up.
is he getting
Twilight. Yeah, there's
just
an
made-
observer.
yeah, he
in-
just made an
on
observer.
Shield.
that
Yeah.
Hero observer? But the
Well, I
question
think
is,
that could be a blind observer.
yeah, the question
it's always
is,
that
will
first.
he place it correctly? Because it's possible that Brendan will forget he has it.
Yeah. It's still hanging in the robotics bay. Does he remember that it finished?
Yeah. TZ has an observer at well. TZ,
Hey,
go on.
Robotics Bay is going down for Uriel as well as Charge. So both of those are not. So I think, yeah, it's like we're probably gonna see him. do
Robotics
what I
Bay for
thought.
both players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
FYI.
think they're both. I believe Red has Charge as well, so it looks like they're both might be going Sky Toss with some. I'm sorry, no. The other
No.
one isn't a Stark.
Tzilla
He's in
Tzilla
charge for-
still doesn't have anything that flies. I think we're gonna see Archons this game.
Yeah, Uriel is going to do what I thought that Red was going for. He's going to go do some Sky Toss with and Mineral Dump into Charge Lots, because that would make sense. Although, we do have the Twilight Council. Yeah,
Okay.
Council going down in... Or finishing, I'm sorry, not Twilight Council. Robotics Bay finishing for Pink.
And the first Dark Templar is warped in, but there's no proxy pollen. And he also hasn't sent it to... Okay, there it goes.
There it goes.
He's sending it to a
Do we see where's it going? If I bring up his vision, will it show us the rally? No.
No, I
Okay.
think only if he cues it around.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that DT, we'll let that DT wander. Brendan Uriel took a third base.
His Observer is a little misplaced, though. It's not going to be at his natural, so that... But the Dark Templar will be able to do a little bit of damage, but I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. As soon as he hears the DT noise, he's probably
Oh,
going to
remember.
start frantically searching for the observer. Yeah, and
Oh,
he
and
finds
here
it.
it comes.
That's not going to do
Yeah,
anything.
there we go.
That
Nice.
zealot running to. Oh, he missed the kill. Huh. Silly zealot. So he knows DTs are up. TZ taking his third. And Brendan's third being almost done. But he's going to be. If TZ scouts that. Right now, TZ doesn't know about it. But if TZ scouts that, Brendan's going to be hard pressed to defend it. His micro really isn't up to getting observers in 2 places if TZ wants to 2-prong DT attack. So he has the potential for a lot of damage.
And Sam, you're absolutely right. We see Archons. So that's his anti-air of choice. And while they are better than Stalkers against Void Rays, I mean,
Would still prefer to see Void Rays again.
I still think Void Rays.
Well, range is just going to finish for Tzilla as well as +2 weapons, so maybe he'll push out with that.
Yeah, and maybe a nice +2 timing attack. The thing about Archons to note is they don't take that extra damage from Void Rays, do they?
Right.
Because they're
No.
psionic.
Now, the other thing to note is that TZ has 1-1, which would normally be good for a different army composition. But for his, he actually should maybe get +1 shields instead of armor.
Because he has the Archons?
Yes,
Right, because Archons
Arch-
actually only have 10 health, and they have 350 shields. So
all about the shield.
What do we have for work accounts? By attacking some of Brendan's workers, TZ's managed to get ahead in the worker lead, but I think Brendan had really done a good job equalizing it at one point.
Yeah. So I was wrong there. He's not going to push out with +2. He's gonna try and mass up some more Archons.
He has a distinct supply lead. He's ahead by 6 probes, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 gateways, and he's really pumping stuff out. Brendan is has the third base up, which TZ also does, but Brennan only has 3 gateways, so his production is about half of his opponent's. He is working on those Colossus. He doesn't have range, though. Range is like what makes Colossus so potent, so he's gonna
Yes.
find his army lacking in a fight.
The question is, how much of TZ's supply lead is in Zealots?
Holy shit. Well, sometimes just really need Void Rays. We've got Uriel queuing them up 4 at a time.
Nice.
This way, he's always producing Void Rays.
Perfect. Perfect.
Never forget.
whatever works.
TZ's been really good about the upgrades this game. He's started his +3 away.
Don't rub it in, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I need to stop talking about my game and focus on this one. This game deserves respect and dignity. Both players, Brendan creeping up towards supply, but still in a supply deficit to his opponent. I guess he has the more substantial army. I guess these Void Rays are really just gonna do a number on TZ Zealots, but
Yeah.
I mean,
If they-
Void Ray Colossus, it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, if they were to engage, I'd probably have to give it to Pink, assuming that he manipulated the Void Rays to focus down the Archons.
yeah, with good micro, also he has to keep the Void Rays away from the Archons. If the Void Rays clump up and he gets a couple Archon shots off, those Archons will decimate them. Void Rays really aren't high health targets, but
No,
but I'm not.
but they do a lot of damage.
I don't-
This has to keep his Void Rays from getting sniped, and I'm gonna have to give it to Pink.
Do you guys like TZ's wall run at the third? I think it's kind of nice. He plays the gateways really nice.
Oh yeah. Hey, and it would be
not bad.
nicer if he
Almost-
opened them, but
It almost stops things.
I
But
haven't made the Morph Gates though.
does
And
it?
here
Is
we
it a
go.
full wall off? Oh, Brendan's moving out. I don't like this push out at all. Brendan has an upgrade deficit. His armies, ooh, what?
Yeah,
No, actually,
I
his
think-
armies might be bigger. Looking at army supply,
I think it's hard to tell. It depends on if the Archons get in range of the Void Rays.
With-
Because if they do, then this goes.
here we go. Here's our fight.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Oh.
I can't call it. I don't know.
It was a good.
looks
It
like
was a
Archons are
good
stuck.
angle for Brendan to engage at because the Zealots
Yeah,
had to run all the way around.
No, the Archons are going to win handily.
Yeah.
Yes. He couldn't. He needed to not get surrounded by
Oh.
the Zealots.
Well, I think it was getting surrounded by the Archons that did it because the Zealots,
Oh, yeah,
the Zealots
that
had to
too.
come around that corner, so that was a good angle to engage at. But the Archons
fought-
came from both sides and just
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he forgot about the high ground there. They were able to surround, even though he was on the low ground, they were able to come around that cliff and get some more shots off. So it was an
Yeah.
effective Archons round. So,
When
Yeah.
you go to
but he fought in a very bad position.
when you go Void Rays, you have to win with overwhelming force and not trade. And he did worse than trade. He traded like badly.
well.
Yeah.
It would be interesting. I wish we could do a post game interview because it would be interesting to note why Brendan chose that timing to move out. He hadn't scouted anything from his opponent. He knew his opponent was going DTs. He had a stable economy, and if you looked at his army supply, he was hovering at like 110, or he was at like 130 supply, I think. I really
They were
don't.
terrible.
I really don't
But
see
I think-
why he moved out like that.
I think if we could talk to him, he would say something along the lines of "Screw it, YOLO."
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
He would.
It was
say
also an
something
upgrade
similar.
thing too. I think
Yeah, that's
I've
important.
noticed
too.
the Archons are on 3 weapon damage right now. I don't know if I forgot to check if they were during the fight, but that could have been it too.
Yeah, I think they definitely will.
So that's the end of the game. That puts TZ with a 2-1 victory over Brendan. It gives him 6 points and puts him tied with Tyler for first place. And Brendan drops down to 4 points and ties with me for second place
Dude,
currently.
that's a lot of
Right.
points.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm giving in a normal Swiss system. I don't think you give a point unless you give anyone any points unless they win. But I thought that and I decided this last week. If you took your match 2-1, you deserved that extra point. It really doesn't mess up the numbers that much. Gives us a little nicer spread.